What's going on, y'all? I've got some sick buffs to go over for Galarian Moltres. I've reworked all three of the Galarian legendary birds to now be part fire, ice, and electric, respectively, on top of keeping the dark fighting and psychic typings. I think that's super, super cool. And before I can get into all of these really cool, just overall like changes and the synergies between the moves and the abilities I chose for them, I want to have a quick disclaimer for new viewers. First of all, shout out to you. I appreciate you clicking on the video. I also appreciate all my returning viewers very much. So make sure y'all, drop a comment, drop a like. It helps with the algorithm and it helps get my ROM hack out to more people. But essentially, Galarian Moltres. Well, no, sorry, I have to do other intro stuff. Yeah, click the link down below. When you're done with the video, it has a Google Sheet where you can check out all the move buffs and changes in the hack, of which, I mean, every single move in the game is like reworked to some extent. I mean, not every single, but the vast majority. And they're all organized into these categories, and you can click on them and understand the changes in the game better, because moves play a huge part in, I mean, I would say one of the, if not the biggest part in how the game plays. So yeah, and then you can also check out my other videos and all that good stuff. But don't do any of that until you're done with this video. What you can do now, is if you're new here, is pause the video and read the description. I have a bullet point list explaining the basics of the ROM hack and how it's balanced. But as for clicking off the video, don't do that till you're at the end, because it'll mess up my watch time. And with all that being said, yeah, Galarian Moltres is Fire Dark now. It also has one of its three abilities that it can switch between whenever it wants to, is Levitate. So the beautiful thing is, depending on the matchup or the boss fight you're fighting, you can switch from your three abilities. The other two have a better combo of like defensive and offensive abilities. Like Zapdos has like Quick Feet for speed and Intimidate for utility and taking hits better, and then Reckless for just raw damage boosting, and then Articuno has Ruthless for damage boosting and an Energy Shield and Levitate for utility. In this case, he doesn't have any utility abilities outside of Levitate. However, Sixth Sense does provide him with a no-miss Hypnosis, as well as a more consistent burn method, although he already has 100% accurate Will-O-Wisp anyway. So yeah, Sixth Sense is kind of a utility ability, and that it gives you that 100% accurate Hypnosis, which is pretty cool. Hypnosis and all sleep moves besides drowsy moves, so all like Hypnosis, Sleep Powder type moves in this game, will always last for 2 turns. So you can you can do whatever you want in those 2 turns. You can run like Sixth Sense, Quick Claw, Sixth Sense, Hypnosis into a Taunt Lead, into a Agility, into your inaccurate moves. So in regards to Sixth Sense, logically it's not the most fitting. I was considering Dark Aura for a bit because it fits so well if you read like the Pokedex and stuff, but I opted for Sixth Sense because I really like how I made all 3 of the Galarian birds have synergies with their signature moves. For example, Freezing Glare dropping stats and always critting synergizes with Ruthless and Energy Shield. Thunderous Kick being a recoil move synergizes with Reckless, and then in this case, Fiery Wrath is also is widespread. Actually, it's the most widespread of the 3 previously signature moves. Fiery Wrath is like a move that a lot of regular old Dark types can learn now, and even other Pokemon. But essentially, I wanted to, because of that, right? It's also a really good move specifically for the AI to abuse against you, because the accuracy doesn't matter as much when it's AI. So I wanted to pick an ability that's synergized with Fiery Wrath and Inferno as well. And I think it's really cool that both Fiery Wrath and Inferno are like counterparts to one another. And yeah, that's why I chose Sixth Sense. It's purely to synergize with Fiery Wrath. It also I also slapped on Hypnosis purely to give him that extra utility, even though it doesn't make that much sense, but he is like this kind of dark type, like sinister guy. So I think it's fine. And then Focus Blast and Hurricane are just good, strong coverage. And then before you get access to Fire Wrath and Inferno at level 55, you'll have access to Fire Blast, which, say, hypothetically speaking, you get access to all these guys at level 45. Then you'd have a solid 10 levels of Fire Blast usage before you get access to the Inferno, which is strictly outclassing it in regards to Sixth Sense. And it's not like Sixth Sense makes no sense. It does make enough sense. Like, they have this Sixth Sense, like the flame-like aura consuming the spirit. Like, it has that kind of vibe going for him. So it's not completely illogical or anything. It's kind of intentionally a vague ability for that very purpose. And then they still retain Berserk, so obviously they have Levitate, which is great because it's great in general, even if it's like Galarian Articuno, which is neutral to ground. But in this case, they're even weak to ground, so it's even better. Of course, they lose the flying typing, so that's why I gave them Levitate. So whenever you need it, you can use your ability changer and switch to Levitate, and otherwise you'll be using Sixth Sense and Berserk. So Berserk is great, not only because you can boost up your special attack like over and over again without having to like waste a turn. For example, you can just use like Roost, Berserk, Spam, and as long as you're in front of a Pokemon that isn't able to one-shot you, you can get your Berserk boost that way. Berserk also synergizes very, very well with Bitter Blaze. Bitter Blaze is essentially like Heat Wave, but it heals you, and it's Heat Wave, but it heals you. So, you know, 90 base power overall, and it gives you healing, super, super strong. You can also use Bitter Blaze in conjunction with like special attack dropping moves like Blast Burn and Twilight Cannon, which are Dark and Fire type versions of Draco Meteor, so that's pretty cool. Overheat is now a recoil move instead, so Overheat is now a special Flare Blitz. So that's also pretty good for Berserk because you can give yourself a little bit of recoil, and then Berserk it'll be easier to trigger. Of course, you have to keep in mind that Berserk only triggers on direct attacks. It doesn't trigger from you dealing damage to yourself with Overheat or actually, that's your only recoil. That's sort of like Hell Thrust and Takedown, which are physical recoil moves. But yeah, it's just nice because you could deal a little bit of recoil and then put yourself in a range for that Berserk boost. Obviously, Berserk is still incredible with agility, good old reliable there. They've got very, very good bulk, 90, 90, 125. Fire Dark is also just a pretty good, like it has some unique defensive properties to it. It has, you know, nice immunities. In this case, you're immune to Ground for the Levitate, and then you're also immune to Psychic. And then you resist Fire, Grass, Ice, Ghost, Dark, and Steel. So you have tons of resistances on top of those two immunities. So very, very, very good typing in regards to defensive utility. And obviously offensively, it's very good as well. Even stuff like Perish Song can be good. But yeah, like Parting Shot utility with Perish Song and Hypnosis, Sixth Sense, and, you know, burning moves and debuffing moves like Mystical Fire and Dismal Cry, which drop attack and special attack by -1. So you do have a lot of great utility options, and you can take advantage of it. They're very good bulk. You can even do stuff like Bitter Blaze AV to like 1v1 even strong special attackers and heal off the damage and fun things like that you can definitely experiment with. I was considering things like Ruthless, but there are other Fire Dark types I have to balance around. Houndoom is currently slotted to have Ruthless, so that's why Galarian Moltres doesn't have it. Otherwise, of course, I would agree that does fit. And then Dark Aura fits, but it's just kind of a boring ability. Like it's, yeah, you get an extra boost to your Dark moves, but I think Sixth Sense giving that no missing Fiery Wrath in conjunction with Inferno, Fire Blast, and all the other moves is really cool. Also, if you got like Terra, if you pulled RNG'd like Terra Fighting or Flying, that'd be kind of sick with Sixth Sense as well. And in general, they've got some really solid coverage overall. And as well of like Burn Up, giving you guaranteed burn, as well as removing your fire typing can be very useful, like utility-wise, because not only does it burn whatever's in front of you, but say you're fighting like a physical rock type, you click Burn Up on them. I mean, ideally you'd just be using like Focus Blast or something, but if you're not able to kill them in one hit with Focus Blast safely, then you could run Burn Up instead, and then, you know, position in a certain way where you're burning them, and then also taking way less damage from that rock move because you're no longer fire type. So that's a really fun move to take advantage of. Burn Up is super cool. And then Night Days and Wildfire are just reliable, 100% accurate crit moves, essentially. So those are 120 power overall. They're like Wicked Blow. However, the downside of all of these moves is that they can't be used twice in a row. So you can't spam Scarf, Night Days, and Scarf Wildfire with Berserk. You can only click it once, and then you have to switch out. Speaking of, Berserk is great just to switch in and get a +1 boost, right? Like, obviously, Sixth Sense for the immediate Fiery Wrath and Inferno boost is great, 130 power, but even a 100 base power move at +1, or even a 90 base power move, say even just Heat Wave and Dark Pulse, which are 90 power overall, or Flamethrower, at +1, those are stronger than Fire Wrath and Inferno. So you have to keep that in mind. Berserk is still really strong. It's even if you're just getting one boost and nothing else, even if you just switch in on one and go from there. Bursting Flames is also a nice move. It's only 75 power overall, but it's a multi-hit move, so it's 25 power per hit. So you can use that to like break focus sashes and stuff. Super nice with Berserk if you want to switch in and, you know, go for that like Scarf or Quick Claw Bursting Flames to break through a focus sash with a +1 special attack boost. And in general, it's just really easy to rack up even just one Berserk boost if you just pivot smartly and get your Moltres on the field versus a specific attack. It's really easy to get that boost. And I would say anything more than +1, like you're getting, I mean, you can go for it. I would say especially like Roost plus Berserk plus like priority moves, Ignite, Night Burst, and Gust are all special priority moves. Even Swift, technically, I don't know if you got like Terra Normal or something for stab on it, but overall, those three, mostly the two stab ones, are pretty great. You've also got like Glare, which is great defensive utility. Glare paralyzes and drops attack and special attack, which is really nice with Parting Shot and all these other moves. And you can even use Glare in conjunction with Berserk to like you know, debuff something in front of you and get a bunch of boosts that way. I will say though, if you're gonna play that way, you have to be really careful because you can easily turn into a crit magnet and kind of just like get greedy. You know, I wouldn't go for any more boosts than you need to, you know, say kill 2 Pokemon or however many Pokemon you want to kill before being forced out. Or if you can pull off a full sweep, you can try, but this guy doesn't have any flinch cheese or anything, so there's no real way to cheese Quick Claw outside of Ignite, Night Burst, or Gust, or Swift, or whatever, which is good. That's good, and it's balanced at least. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. I appreciate you listening all the way to the end. There's a bunch of other small things like little coverage moves. I don't know if you guys all, you know, listen in the background and you missed all the coverage. You know, they've got stuff like Aura Sphere and Psychic as well that are Scorching Sands that I haven't mentioned, but, you know, just niche little coverage options you can teach whenever you need them. It's very easy with Movie Learner to mix up the way your Moltres is playing depending on the boss fight. It's a bit less versatile than the other two in regards to ability slots, but Berserk and Sixth Sense both are still unique in the way that they provide offensive utility, one giving you immediate boost and immediate utility with Hypnosis, and then the other ones is just giving you raw damage boost, you know? So I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Make sure you drop a comment if you made it all the way to the end. I would really appreciate that. It helps the algorithm. And I'll be back for more coming up, y'all. Peace.